And our first guest is coming to us via satellite from Chicago, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, Mr. Jack Bouroudjian. He's the chairman of Capital Markets Technologies, stock symbol CMKT. Jack, good to see you again.
Always a pleasure, Don. Thank you.
Now, Jack, Capital Markets Technology describes itself as a financial technology solutions company providing solutions to global financial institutions and corporations. Can you give us a general overview of the company again, please?
Very quickly, and I'm going to give you a nutshell version. There are two huge changes going on right now in Europe. One is called SEPA, the Single European Payment Area. The other is called MiFID, M-I-F-I-D, that is the Markets in Financial Instruments Directive. Both of these rule changes are creating an entire change in the landscape of how business is being done in Europe. Specifically, we're talking about how payments are handled, bank to bank to corporate, all of which need to go through a laundry list of what they call MiFID guidelines. Now, why is that necessary? And if you think about it, you created a common currency in Europe a few years ago, but you have no back end to support it. There is no common banking. There is no Fed wire system, for example, as we have here in the States. If anything, people are using what they call the SWIFT system, and anyone that's done business overseas knows, and they've used the SWIFT system, is anything but SWIFT. It's a very archaic way of sending money. You know, just to put that into perspective, it takes literally 5 days at times to move money from France to Germany. That is ridiculous. It is very inefficient. And for Europe to really compete as a cohesive zone, and we're talking about competing on a global landscape, what they needed to do was to create an infrastructure that could support the euro currency. That is what SEPA and MiFID are really all about, is creating the back end, creating a market, taking the 20 different stock markets and different banking systems and different processing systems and standardizing them all so that it's possible to buy a stock that is based in Iceland, for example, in Germany, or to buy a Polish stock in the UK and not have to worry about days to settle that transaction. All of that is really being done, if you think about it, to make it much more efficient and much easier for us, the consumers and the retail customers, to be able to get our money in and out of both the products and services in the Eurozone. It's a very, very important project that they're working on, and that is the opportunity. It's a $40 billion opportunity, Don, that we're talking about. And that is really what Capital Markets Technologies is. It's a holding company rounding up these various processes that are MiFID components. Think of them as little modules that are absolutely necessary in the entire SEPA MiFID solutions game. And as we round these up, and I'll talk to you in a second or two about what we've done thus far, what we do is we find these critical components and end up giving them in a white-labeled fashion to the various money center institutions that they in turn give to their corporate clients. The big difference is, and this is what I always talk about it as if it's a Y2K for the financial institutions in Europe, the big difference is where Y2K was a one-time event, this is an ongoing needed solution. And what the end users, what the banks have told us is, Capital Markets Technologies come in and give us these solutions, and at the 2010, when these laws become absolutely critical, because what's happening is the Euro Commission has given these institutions a good 3-year window to be able to comply. At 2010, these transactions become fined if they're not compliant. What they have asked us to do is to turn the key and turn everything we're doing into a transactional-based model, whereas now it's a fixed model. So what I am saying in essence is everything that we're creating at Capital Markets Technologies turns into a de facto ASP model after 2010. That is one of the hidden beauties of this business plan.
Well, Jack, you're absolutely right, and you took the words out of my mouth. With all of this occurring over the next 30 months, I mean, it is like a Y2K specter hanging over the European financial markets. Now, tell us why this creates an opportunity for your company.
Well, if you think about it, Don, when you have a landscape change, whenever there is any kind of dysfunction, there is a gem of opportunity. Now, this is the one thing that I noticed when I sat on the board of directors of the exchange right behind me, and those that were lucky enough to buy stock in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That stock came out at $35 and went to over $500. It's because I identified a landscape change at the time sitting on the board of this company, of this exchange. When whenever I see an opportunity like that, I like to participate. That's what I see with MiFID and SEPA and what is happening in Europe. CMT has a unique ability to be able to round up these companies. And, I've been blessed with the opportunity of having wonderful people around me that have been able to bring in these various processes that are absolutely important. Now, we have one that, pending a shareholder vote, will be approved the week of August 13th. It's Simplex Solutions. We have the votes and the support. We're very happy about that. That'll be our service bureau. That'll be the base for all the other acquisitions. We have 3 that are in our crosshairs as we're speaking. Each one of these acquisitions plays a critical component in the entire MiFID SEPA world. And as I round these up, and I like to call them little mom and pop technology shops, Don, because that's essentially what they are. They don't want to sell to the big money center banks because they see the MiFID 2010 deadline now as the light at the end of the tunnel. They can take what I'm giving them, namely my stock with CMT, and turn it into a real currency for them as they go forward and take what they're doing, all that hard work, and really start to benefit from the fruits of their labor.
The company is Capital Markets Technologies, the stock symbol CMKT. If you'd like more information about this company and what's going on in the financial markets in Europe, please give us a call right now, toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Now, Jack, of course, you're well known in the financial markets. You comment on CNBC, of course, here on MoneyTV, CNN, other financial networks. And I know that over the years you've been asked many times to join companies. What has you excited about this particular company?
I'm glad you asked that, Don. A lot of people ask that. In fact, as I go out and I talk to potential investors and shareholders, that's probably one of the first questions that is asked. And the reason that I took this position is because, there are very few positions, very few opportunities that I see that are really earth-shaking, that are going to change the way business is done. And when I really identify that opportunity, it really becomes a chance to create jobs, to create opportunity, to be able to create an opportunity to be able to make money for investors. And, that's really what it's all about. We're in this, and I always tell my children this. I said, my wife is a nurse. She's out to help people, and heal people. I'm in the financial services industry. I'm there to help people make money and identify potential opportunities for profit. That's really what this is. And the other thing that's very important is that I made specific rules around taking this position. There is no debt around this company. There is no cash burn around this company. I'm the only one that can issue stock. It's a very strong company as far as little micro caps go. I put together a board of directors, and we've just announced it. We have a gentleman named Andy Aziz, who is an ACH expert. He's a banker, former banker of Chase Manhattan, former treasurer of Chase Manhattan. A gentleman named Peter Feit, who is a principal in an options trading group here in Chicago, who is an expert in back-end processing. We have a gentleman named Ed Arana, who is a former senior auditor here at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and a senior CFO for me at Commerce Futures, which was a division of Commerce Bank. And these are gentlemen that would not normally sit on a small board, but I have I've asked them to do this specifically for me and for the opportunity at hand. And Don, when you get people like this, these are powerhouses in the industry together, and get them into a room, you realize that there is amazing synergy, and more importantly, there is an amazing opportunity to bring that brain trust together and really create something special, and that's exactly how I feel about CMT.
Well, Jack, what's going on in the European markets? And, of course, with MiFID and SEPA, this is an earth-shaking situation that we're getting ready to experience. I'm sure other companies are looking at this opportunity as well. The experience of you and the board members that you just mentioned, is that your competitive advantage?
Well, that's one of them, Don. I think, the other thing is that the first acquisition that hopefully we will close on pending that shareholder vote in August is one of 3 SWIFT licenses that has been granted specifically for this project. And I think that's a very valuable asset, something that is overlooked many times. It is absolutely essential because I think what it does is it gives us, if nothing else, the SWIFT blessing as we go forward and create these processes. More importantly, I think what we have on our hands is an amazing pool of talent. Now, I've been fortunate enough to be able to travel around the world and see various little companies as they grow and develop. And the one thing that I have noticed is that unless you have the right people doing the right jobs, no project will succeed. In fact, it's destined for mediocrity at best. This project is destined for success because of the people that we have in place. And, it's not only me. I'm just the tip of the iceberg, Don. And I know that people see me on TV. I know a lot about the markets. I've been in the markets. But I am not a technology expert. But guess what? I have the finest people I have ever met doing what I need to do on the technology side in Europe, all across the UK, all across the world for that matter. And that's essentially what we need. Finding the right people to surround us with the right talent, which will create an amazing value for the stock.
Markets Technology, CMKT. Give us a call right now. This will be exciting reading, I can guarantee. 888-259-4449 to receive free information in the mail. Jack, exciting interview as always. Thanks for the update.
My pleasure. Thank you, Don.